If you are not interested in energy market, you should, because this one is going to be the revolution for the next years. If you are in, just enjoy it even more.
I know we are going to have a very interesting discussion today because Jean Charles has more than 4 decades of experience serving this energy industry.
I took over the oil and gas business from the French factories of ABB and taking a global role starting from there. ABB was a little boy in this market at the time, really. And my competition at the time was mainly with local leaders. France has a local leader with 90% market share, same with UK, same in Germany, same in Italy. So we had nearly no space. One sentence I used to share with my team, reflecting exactly what you said, we said we are allowed to lose an order. We are not allowed to lose a customer.
That's exactly. And that's exactly, I think it's very important. Like you win and lose, but relationship doesn't go with that. And the relationship is forever.
Yeah, especially in the energy market. I mean, we are in a long-term relationship with our customers. I mean, if I take Total and ABB or Shell and ABB, I mean, those companies will work forever together.
What is one bias that you see that still exists in this industry?
Well, the first bias, of course, the image of the energy market. I mean, clearly, it's a nasty business, a smoking business, a polluting business, emitting carbon dioxide, and everything even worse. So the image is devastating.
This is the Oil and Gas Breaking Bias show, where we are going to invite industry leaders to talk about their journeys and also technologies of tomorrow, in an effort to break some of the biases that might have formed around this energy industry. Hello everyone, I hope you're happy and healthy. I'm Anand Jha and you are listening to the Oil and Gas Breaking Bias show. And today we are going to talk about the journeys of leaders who have made it big in this industry while breaking many of the biases around them. And I'm very happy and excited because I will be joined by Jean Charles, who is the chairman of To Be First Consulting. This is the pioneer company in the space of energy industry. They track all the trends in this industry. And if you are part of this industry, you might be using their services. So with that, let me welcome Jean Charles. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you very much for invitation. And very proud also to share my journey, as you said, my professional journey with you and with your audience. So very pleased to answer any question you should have regarding it.
Thank you. And I know we are going to have a very interesting discussion today because Jean Charles has more than 4 decades of experience serving this energy industry. So I'm looking forward for our discussion today. But without any further delay, I will say, Jean, if you can walk us through your professional and personal journey, which help you to reach wherever you are today.
Okay. Yes, first about education. Let's start with the beginning. I am engineer, automation engineer, and then I have a business degree with MBA in a nice French university. And after that, in fact, I was not so much excited to work as an engineer, I would say, but more engineer businessman for industry. And that's where I started with a family company, mid-sized company, about 600 people, heading procurement and marketing and sales. So it was a good start. Fortunately, at the time, France was going through economical turbulence for different reasons. So we had to manage difficult situations. I had to be involved in turnaround of management companies, which was demanding with unions, everybody buying suppliers and so on. But at least from professional experience, it was great. And so that when I was 28, I was taking the lead of the first company, 50 people I was heading as a first experience in industry services. And when I was 30, I joined ABB, which was also in France in crisis, to develop the business in France. And step by step, I took over the oil and gas business from the French factories of ABB and taking a global role starting from there. I got passionated by this market and the challenge is complexity of this market. ABB was a little boy in this market at the time, really. And my competition at the time was mainly with local leaders. France has a local leader with 90% market share, same with UK, same in Germany, same in Italy. So we had nearly no space with those local requirements dominated by local leaders. So as you said, the key word was those BAs. I mean, how to find a door opener to break those local monopolies and introduce ABB at larger scale. And the first idea was try to play an harmonization across Europe of the customer needs and requirement and specification, and that's worked. I mean, I invited 12 major companies in Europe to work together on this harmonization, working through the standards, working with technology and design to rethink everything from scratch. And that worked. Customers were enthusiastic about this initiative, and that helped us to break the wall around and in 4 years to become a world leader. And we could repeat that business unit per business unit inside ABB, putting all the customers together, working closely with them, building trust, loyalty, developing new solutions, new services, and more or less every 4 years, a new business unit when taking over the game and taking a leading position. So it was very, very exciting, and that has lasted 25 years. So I would have never stopped that.
I can imagine. So very interesting journey. So I have came across many people who start with corporate and then they go into their entrepreneurship journey. But you were a little bit different. You started with entrepreneurship. You started your own company, and then switching from that business to coming to corporate, and also changing the game. That's more important.
Yeah.
And that was not easy journey, because, as you said, the market was dominated by local companies. Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit more about first the transition? What was your feeling, and what was going on in your mind when you made that switch from business to corporate, and also how you broke that monopoly from local business?
Well, I mean, heading a local company is very exciting, of course, especially when you are 28, 30 years old. That's fine. Anyway, you are very young, and you want to open your mindset as well. I mean, I was interested by international business as well, and I understood that I could not do that in my own business, I would say, in this kind of small family or company. So I had to really go in a larger company, and ABB offered me this opportunity to have access to international market with the convenient resources. So that was really what was key. What I learned also, and I would like to share that with your audience, was the fact that when I was in ABB joining whatever organization, and that was really my strong advice, is to work, even I am a simple employee somewhere, to work and make decisions as if this company was mine. And that's very important. And that means a couple of things, especially to work in a team with other departments, accounting department, legal department, financial department, of course, production, and to involve all those people in my strategy, in my orientation, in my demand for investment, for support, and to, how to say that, to bring them in to support the whole sales team all together. So that the salespeople, even when they are alone in front of a customer, they feel confident that the whole company is behind them. And so when they talk to the customers, they can make commitment, they get trust from the customer, because they understand what they say is not just the voice of one single salesman, but it is a voice which has a complete support from the entire organization behind him. And that's a very important thing. And that's things I have always kept in mind when I was working in ABB and all along. And that has been paid back very well. The second recommendation I would do, and I learned whatever business I was in, was always asking myself 3 questions. First question, what can I do better for my customer? Okay, try to understand what he needs. The second question is, what can I do better for my own company? What kind of services, what kind of change in the organization, what kind of training should I organize? What resources should I mobilize here and there to do better? And the third point was, of course, what can I do better for me, for myself?
Yes.
Okay. How can I improve my own competence? How can I improve my knowledge? How can I improve my own performance, my education, etc., etc. And that those 3 pillars, I would say, of what I learned and try to do to achieve all along my career. And that's the way I came through ABB life. What I enjoyed, of course. And then anyway, it was a demanding position. I mean, I was at the time traveling permanently over the world. I was taking 1 plane every day in average. So from personal point of view, after 20 years,
Challenging. Yes.
You say, okay, please land on.
You can do that thing for a while, but on the other flip side of it, you learn a lot, because you travel a lot, you meet new people, you learn new culture,
Yes.
and also the new challenges and the best practices.
Yes.
So I know it's challenging, but it also brings lots of value, and that helps you to grow as a person or as a professional.
Exactly. I mean, you gather every person you meet, you have a chance to learn something, add information, new tricks, whatever. I mean, a new idea, etc., etc. You're absolutely right, and especially traveling from country to country, because each country has its own strengths and weaknesses, of course, and putting all those strengths together, you are unbeatable, more or less. So that was we used to say, and that part is true. I mean, that was convinced on that, and so that was great. And
No,
then,
that, that
okay, as I said, after that, I said, okay, I'll be glad to continue, but on my own. And okay, my BB life in ABB was well settled. So I said, okay, let's take a new challenge. I decided to create To Be First Consulting to develop this database that you mentioned called Project Smart Explorer, where we trace all those energy projects in the world with a number of functions I will not detail here. Today is working very well. I mean, and the company is developing very fine, and I really enjoy traveling with my family and visiting customer all over the world still today. That's perfect. That's perfect.
you have hit so many bullet points here. One thing is about customer-centric approach. That didn't change. Like that's
No,
what I understood. That didn't change from your first company to ABB and also with 2B First Consulting. I think that approach is still there.
correct.
So that's one. And other thing, I think also you talked about rising above than the expectation that company is demanding. Because you mentioned like you took interest in across all the areas that ABB was active. It is accounting, finance. It might not be your job, but you wanted to learn those things to make you more efficient, more powerful. The work that you are doing on the day-to-day basis. So
Correct.
self-improvement is also very important, not just within your domain, but also look outside your domain to make it more comfortable, the work that you are doing. So that's amazing. I could say like we can all learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. The second point I would like to share also, which is maybe specific to energy market and especially oil and gas, is the approach, I would say, in three different levels. First of all, to have always a long-term view for strategic thinking, analyze the market, get the vision on the market. And that was the purpose of Project Smart Explorer database. I mean, to acquire in a simple manner, no in a complex way, but with the right granularity of information, a consistent and well-documented information and vision about the market, so that I could really perceive before any other competitor what should be the next trends. For example, when in Qatar, Ras Laffan start to take off, I mean, everybody knows Ras Laffan today in the world, I mean,
Yes,
of course. Yeah. But when it started, nobody knew about Ras Laffan. Nobody
yes.
knew where it was, not even a country, etc., etc. But when I start to say to our executive committee that investment to come in Ras Laffan was about the same amount than in all China in the same period of year, because it was the starting of the LNG project, giant LNG project. Then everybody start to run in all direction. I mean, it's not possible. I say, yes, okay, here are the figures. Here are your figures from China that you have every day, and you explain us that it's fantastic, we should go to China, which of course we should do, no question on that. But nobody has a clue about Ras Laffan, which is going to concentrate in the same city as much investment than all China in the same year at the time. Of course, since the time everything has changed.
Now everybody knows about Qatar and their capability or capacity
Exactly.
of doing those mega projects. Yes.
Exactly. So it's just an example, but that's where you see where the vision is critical to detect those opportunity. The second point is not so much on the strategic level, but on the tactical level, the next level below, and to work on the standards, to work on the technology practices, and that where association like PCIC come, or end user club like you have the A Club, for example, which are very important to put all the technology together and think quietly, not business-wise, but quietly what we should do better. And
As a community, as a community, like,
yeah, exactly.
as a community, like,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Involving all the supply chain, end user, contractors, manufacturer like ourselves, and think about what should do easier, simpler, cheaper, more efficient, etc., etc. And again, I mean, the fact that you said earlier, you put together 10, 12, 15 people from different companies, different countries, with different history, background, and issues on their desk. That's where you get the best ideas. And I think that point was very, very important, because you build trust with your customer, and that way also you acquire the loyalty from those customers as well.
No, makes sense. I think you have seen building those community, and you have proven building those community help you to break those monopolies from local companies. But my follow-up question, how do you see this industry today as compared to 10 to 20 years back?
I would say there are some changes, but not that much, in fact, because the logic of the decision from the end customer is very much the same. The needs have changed a lot, of course, especially with energy transition. I mean, this industry has to get decarbonated, and hopefully is opening fantastic new opportunities, because we see a arrival of the entry of new processes, new application, new license, newcomers. I mean, we see this bunch of independent companies introducing the market, changing the name of the game, even being a threat sometimes for the majors. And that, I think, is where it is new. I mean, the market behavior on that respect is completely different from before. So the way people express their needs is different. In the past, they were talking about energy efficiency, for example. Today, they don't care about energy efficiency. What they care is how much ton of CO2 you save.
Makes sense.
So the issue is the same, of course. Behind the solution is going to be more or less the same. The way you measure it is completely different. And so that's where it means that from engineer point of view, it's a fantastic era. I mean, more than before. I mean, you cannot just repeat building a platform and refinery just as before.
So there are many new avenues are open now. So all those conventional application and processes, they are not going anywhere, but there are new avenues are open, as Jean just mentioned. There's electrification, carbon capturing, blue hydrogen.
Exactly.
They're all adding to the new domains to this industry.
Exactly.
I have one follow-up question on that one. If somebody is looking to make a career or business in this industry today, what will be one key takeaways for them?
I would say two recommendations. First one is really to listen carefully as a customer. But when I say listen carefully as a customer, it doesn't mean just to listen the word and repeat the word what the customer reports. It's important to understand what is a fundamental need behind it, what it does not say, but what it says is reflecting, and that's important, and to come with the right solution, and that's a key point. And the second point is to always think to make your customer a champion in his own organization. If you bring a solution to your customer so that this customer, this person is becoming a star in his company, you make a man loyal to your business and to you for life,
Yes.
Because this person, when he works with you, he expects to also improve his own position, his own company. So when he make a decision to work with you, he put his head on the desk, taking a risk. If you remove the risk, his personal risk in working with you out of the desk, and in opposite way, you manage to put him as a king in his own organization because he introduced new solution or he secure whatever it is, you win. You win and you acquire a customer far beyond just one order. You acquire a customer.
I think so. And that relationship goes long. Recently, actually, I was invited by another podcast channel and they asked me how I do my forecasting about the business. So I said, normally I reach out to my customer and I asked them very openly, what are the projects that you're going to work? How can we work together? Is it the right project where we can collaborate? And if they say it's not the right project, that's okay. There's no issue there, then we move on something else.
Correct.
But it all starts from you. You have to give them full support, help to develop in their career, the business, the work they are doing. And in return, you can ask for all the support that Jean just mentioned about. So
Correct.
Building your strong network is important, and also helping and supporting the people around you at the right time is also very important.
Exactly. One sentence I used to share with my team, reflecting exactly what you said. We said we are allowed to lose an order. We are not allowed to lose a customer. I mean, that's exactly what you explained.
And that's exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. We have to keep in mind, you win and lose, but relationship doesn't go with that. And the relationship is for forever.
Yeah.
I think like anything else, and that what we see in our personal life, same thing can be implemented on our professional life as well.
Yeah, especially in the energy market. I mean, we are in a long-term relationship with our customers. I mean,
Yes.
If I take Total and ABB or Shell and ABB, I mean, those companies will work forever together. And so it's important to maintain those relationships in the best way and to accept some time to leave something on the table because maybe we are not the best this day, but to prepare ground for the next day. And that part of exactly the trust and loyalty, which is the base of any business relationship.
Definitely. And that goes from one business to another business. So it doesn't matter. It goes with you. It doesn't matter which brand you are working with. So
no.
That always stays with you. No,
it's your personal
great.
value.
It's a personal value, definitely. That's like it's a personal connection that goes with you. It doesn't matter which company, which brand, which business you work for.
No.
And that is forever. The few things I like to mention, going back to your journey, if you have to relive your journey, what changes you might make to make it more exciteful, and it could be like you might not make any changes. That is already very exciting.
No, that's right. Yeah, you understood that I really enjoy my business life. No question on that. So I would make maybe some changes, but not major changes. I think it's a very good question and very hard to answer, honestly. Maybe two options I may have made, or I worked better, I would say. One is maybe to have made a more internal lobbying inside ABB to target higher position in ABB.
So just to interject here, so you're talking about the network on both sides. Your external and internal network is very important.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. So I think I may have neglected somehow at certain period of my business life this internal network. That's for sure. Just that one option, one thing maybe I would change. The other one is maybe the opposite, is maybe to have left ABB maybe 2 years or a couple of years before what I did, to start my company earlier and work for my own earlier. That I would say is the two options. If I have to redo the things today, I don't know what should be the best option between both, honestly. But that may be where I would have I would try to change something, but it's marginal. Yes. It's just marginal.
Makes sense. No, definitely. You already had exciting journey, and we all talked about. Last thing, not the least, I have to ask one question that is more sync with the theme of this podcast. What is one bias that you see that still exists in this industry? It could be within or towards the industry.
Well, the first bias, of course, the image of the energy market. I mean, clearly, is a nasty business, a smoking business, a polluting business, emitting carbon dioxide and everything even worse. So the image is devastating. Anyway, the good thing, I would say, is when you think now about other industries, it can be airplane industry, it can be defense industry, it can be food industry, it can be car industry, it can be transport, railway industry. I mean, all those industries are also in the same difficulty, in fact. I mean, the image of the industry overall is not good today. But for the young generation, the only job they may expect is maybe to stay with their co in the farm and survive as they could. If you start to enter the real world, in that respect, energy at the end of the day is not worse than any other, especially as we have seen all the major company or responsible company to undertake measure to stop emission or to reduce emission, to invest in renewables energies, etc., developing new technologies and so. And at the end, I would say this BS, I think, is going to be very quickly, in a very, very short years, I mean, in the next 2-3 years, becoming maybe the most innovative industry in the world and helping other industry, including IT industry, for example, to reduce their carbon emission and their impact on the environment. So because they have the knowledge, they have the means, they have the technologies, they have the solution for it. So it takes time because it's massive. It's, of course, a super tanker to move and change direction. So it takes time. But indeed, it has the energy for it. It has the knowledge, it has the money for it.
And also ambition. Also, there is ambition. Ambition to change.
Absolutely. There is no question anymore. There is no question anymore. I mean, So that's why I think now the only BS I see remaining is about image and communication. I mean, it's to make the things understood, share it, communicate, explain. It's about pedagogy.
Exactly. Let's bring at the conclusion of our today's podcast. One thing, Gene, you said we have to communicate, we have to talk about all the biases and the image that might have created. And that's why we have this podcast, which talks about these biases openly, including the journeys of leaders, about the technology, about the industry, and trying to make some effort to bring some positivity that energy industry has.
Correct.
So with that, we'll conclude today's session. But at the end, Gene, anything to share with our listeners?
Well, I say yes. I mean, if you are not interested in energy market, you should, because this one is going to be the revolution for the next years. If you are in, just enjoy it even more. And you will have time to spend all your career and to succeed in this career. It can be a large organization like ABB or any other, or it can be your own company.
Thank you so much, Gene. I have really, really enjoyed all the conversation, and you have seen many things in this industry in your 4 decades of experience. So we can all learn from it. We can do something that what you have done. So with that, I will sign off for this week. Keep listening, the Oil and Gas Baking by Show. I will come with another interesting story next week. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Anand.